Hello, hello. Let me get this set up properly. Hey, Wignut, what's up? Thanks for joining. DS. Glad you guys could make it. Glad you found me. JD, what's up, guys? John's Comics with Kids. Glad some of you were able to join me. So, the idea I had for this was basically just that just wanted to have a hangout and chat, and if anyone has anything that they specifically want to talk about, we can bring it up, and I'm going to try to, what's up, Matt? I'm going to try to invite some people actually into the live stream to start a little chat, talk for a few minutes, and then bring someone else in maybe. So if anyone has anything they want to talk about, let me know, and email me at whitewhalecomics@gmail.com, and I will try to send you an invite. Don't know if this is going to work, but like I said, it was kind of a spur of the moment experiment idea that I wanted to try out. In the meantime, while I wait see if anyone wants to join in, I wanted to give an update on the race. If any of you have seen my video about my CGC versus CBCS race that CBCS has a 4-month head start on. No update from them. Surprise. My books have been received by CGC, and one thing that I found interesting, when CBCS receives your books, they send you this really long email, really detailed, talking about how your books are in this safe and all this stuff, and the next steps are going to be that they're going to keep you updated and all this blah blah blah. And the email I got from CGC was, "We received your order. It's 10 books." Cool. Hey Reggie, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining in. So it's my first experience submitting to CGC, and I found that a little surprising that it was so vague. But I guess if they can turn around faster by not sending long emails, maybe it's worth it. So, like I said, if anyone has any topics they want to talk about, if not, I'll just keep yammering on. I know Thomas Churchill, what's up? Welcome, welcome. CGC just changes status on your submission tracking just to keep an eye on the day to day so you can see the status. Send me an email, 3D. Oh. One, two cover or facsimile of what? I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Big Will. On the CGC homepage, when you're logged in, just click submissions, my submissions. Yeah, I was just talking about the email specifically, DS, that yeah, I've logged in and seen all of that on the half cover of Avengers 1 or a facsimile cover of Avengers. Oh, okay. Well, this is weird. Let me do this. Just sent you an invite, John, because when you messaged me, it tried to let me join your call. I don't think that's going to work. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing here. Thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully we'll make something of this. Yeah, Reggie, I was just catching up on your live stream from earlier today for the this or that. I didn't get through it because I wanted to jump on here before other people did, but it looks like I did not beat all of that comics.
It works.
It worked.
Now I got to turn you off, though, because I got you on volume here.
Get some echo going. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Going well.
You got this is a cool idea. I don't know if how long I'll stay. I'll just you can bounce me out. You're the bouncer, right? So you just
I also don't know how to kick people out, so someone might just take over my feed, which is
that's nice.
Yeah.
So this is now the John show. You guys are
It's like Wednesday night, except we don't have a book to talk about.
Right. Yeah.
But I have a feeling I know what you want to chat about because we had a chat earlier today.
I think I have had like 4 or 5 of the best like philosophical discussions of the year in the last like 48 to 72 hours. I had great discussions with several people in this room, including Reggie, including yourself. And it was stuff that reminded me of your State of the Union, but it was really bigger than just comics. It was, I don't know. I have a hard time like distilling this into an idea, but for me, it came down to like why, not just why are we collecting, but why are we on YouTube? Why are we on Instagram? Why are we taking time away from family and loved ones and things? Why are we putting energy and time into this avenue? And so it just every one of the people I talked to, including yourself, had some really poignant things to say. And Reggie pointed out a lot of great things. And then Bueller distilled it down to the idea of value and knowledge. Like, what value are you adding? What knowledge are you imparting? And it made me question, like, why am I doing this? Because is it for me? Is it about imparting knowledge? Is it about imparting some kind of wisdom? Or am I doing it for my coworkers would call the S and giggles of it all? Like, because I have always said I'm doing this for fun, and if it stops being fun, then I'm not going to do it. And you and I were talking about how there's the flip side of the coin of doing these things, having this great comic community, which, by the way, I had my first AOK just this last week, and I had 2 people tell me they want to send me stuff today. Like, that is unbelievable that somebody like Big Will would take his hard-earned money, and he's in the chat, but that he would take his hard-earned money and then give it to me is insane. I mean, on top of, hi Charlie, on top of just the amount of money it costs to ship something. But the flip side of that, this sort of feeling of obligation or responsibility, like I didn't post enough videos this week, or that my content isn't offering enough value. Not that anybody was telling me my content was. Nobody has ever, Reggie and Bueller were giving me great advice. But you put that weight on yourself. Yeah,
I'm the king of self-doubt, so I'm right there with you. But yeah, we had a really good chat earlier today, and I only hope that we can kind of impart what we kind of gathered from that. But I agree. I was talking about how I feel this push or this need to make content and make quality content and make content that appeals to people. And I go back and I think about the first video I made and why I decided to get on YouTube, and was it to, like, I'm at over 250 subscribers. Like, I couldn't have imagined that when I started this. I thought I'd get like 20. Like, who wants to hear me yammering about nonsense?
Well, that's exactly what Knights of Old is saying. Who's the guy in the blue shirt talking? Exactly, man. I mean, I'm John's Comics with Kids, by the way. If you don't know my channel, I'll type a little something here in the chat so everybody knows I'm here. Like,
yeah, you should definitely follow him.
Yeah, like, but like, what's the point? And there's an element of this discussion for me that is all like art versus commerce, and I think several of the discussions I had that were really meaningful to me over the last few days concerned, like, talking to Ryan, who is a big art versus commerce guy, and his attitude has always been, you should do whatever you want to do, and that art is just for you, and that it doesn't matter if anybody likes it, and it doesn't matter if anybody watches it. If it's appealing to you and it's meaningful to you, that's it. There is no higher order.
Yeah, and as an artist myself, you know, I definitely align with that. Sorry, JD was just messaging me saying he wants to get in on this.
Yeah, and Wingnuts is saying, as long as you guys are happy with the content, and you know what, Matt, I'm so glad Matt's in this room, and I don't want to like call attention to anybody because everybody in this community is so great. But I know that, like, when I was looking at this weekend, like, who I would like to model myself after, because I'm not doing this in any way to create a business. I'm not like Comic Tom, who I love and subscribe to and think he's amazing, but I don't want to make any business out of this. Whereas Matt has created this amazing channel that people subscribe to Matt's channel. He's been doing this longer than I would guess most of the people in this room, and doing it on a consistent level. And yet his channel is all about what he cares to have it be about. And he's not towing or kowtowing to anybody. He's really making content, and people are watching it because they like Matt, they like what he talks about, and they appreciate what he brings to the form.
Yeah, he's genuine, and I would say the same thing about Reggie. I would say the same thing about you. I would say the same thing about a lot of people, is that the reason why people enjoy watching them is because they're, yeah, you, Thanatos. Is that, you know, they're, whether or not, like, you know, Reggie is very meticulous. He's very thoughtful about what he's doing, and he tries to make content that's useful and helpful and informative.
He's a machine. Like, I can't even keep up. I can barely keep up just watching all the stuff he does. He's amazing, and his content is so well produced. He is so thought out. He's so organized, and there's that element of envy where it's like, I got to be more like Reggie. I gotta do what Reggie's doing, and it makes me realize, no, I don't want to be Reggie. Reggie is so good at being Reggie.
Yeah, you want to be John.
Figure out what is John? How does John fit into this?
Yeah, but you know, he's still genuine and he's still himself. And I think when you're talking about Matt's channel, who is Thanatos, for those who don't know, you should go subscribe to him. Everyone should subscribe to everyone in this room.
Names.
Yeah,
I'm Dr. Strange.
Hi, I'm White Whale. But yeah, you know, he just goes on camera and is just himself. And hey, TJ, what's up? Welcome. Glad you could join.
And I want to say, he even mentioned in one of the videos he did with Reggie that their styles are totally different. That Matt doesn't script himself out, and he likes to do it live, his live streams, and that enables him to just be this version that he wants to be on his channel. And then Reggie has this great organization and this system, and his, you know, the joking about the thumbnails between you two guys, you spend a lot of time on these thumbnails. You look at some of mine and they don't even have titles. And it's not to say one is better or worse. It's what is that channel's personality. And I watch every single thing Reggie does, and you find yourself saying like, I gotta keep up with Reggie. But then you're like, it reminds me of trying to, when I was 21, going to a bar the first time with my dad. Oh, I got to pace my dad. I got to have the same amount of beers as my dad. That's a horrible idea. That can only end horribly. And as much as I love and envy Reggie, I would love to be like that. I can't keep up. That guy is a machine. He's amazing.
Thanatos says titles are overrated, but
thumbnails are game changers.
Yeah, don't be jealous.
And that's the thing. I think you had mentioned interest in discussing envy as a topic, and it certainly stirred some thoughts in me about not only just like, oh, I wish I had this book that Los has posted recently. That's an amazing book, or that I wish I had this, which is an element of envy, but it's the same with social media. Like, I wish I had that number of likes or that number of subscribers. But then it made me think about this art versus commerce. Like, does it matter to me, the number of likes or the number of subscribers? I need, you want to find your identity, I guess, is the idea.
Yeah.
You want to find your identity, and what does this medium offer you?
And I mean, if you look back on my channel, like, clearly I'm still struggling with that because I'm all over the place with what I do. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing because, I of course, like, I'd love to get it to 1,000 subs, and I'd love to be able to monetize just to subsidize my hobby, but it's not really the point for me. And not to say that it's wrong if that's the point for someone else, like you were saying with Comic Con.
I know it's not the point for Reggie either. I just think that there is that element of envy that comes along. It's the same thing that drives any collecting hobby, where you look and you see, oh, that guy's baseball card collection is, he's got that Babe Ruth card that I want, or whatever. It's envy is this motivating factor, even in these platforms, Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, and I think I'm probably going to try to do a full video about my thoughts on that topic because I've got a lot of them.
It's a heady topic, and I certainly didn't want to bring down your chat tonight. The whole point of your night was to let the chat kind of be what it was, and you and I had this really meaningful conversation both yesterday and today. And Reggie as well was a huge help in guiding me through trying to think of new ways to bring my channel and just grow your channel. But then I realized the whole point of it was like, Matt's been growing his channel for, since July of over a year and doing a great job of it. And maybe what I don't need is something new. Maybe I just need to keep doing, I don't know, my style or whatever that is.
I think, like, I've been caught up in numbers and likes and watches and subs and
man, that analytics thing is crazy addictive.
Yeah, I can't look at that, man, because it's not the reason why I'm doing this. Like, I want to be part of the community, and I feel like I am now. I hope, and to me, like, that's enough. But I still, like, I look at Tony, where Tony and I, when I started, Tony and I were like right there with each other. Under 100 subs, we were neck and neck, and now he's 400 or 500, and that's great. I'm super happy for Tony. I'm not trying to say like I'm bringing him down, but
no, but it's the same with you and I, where like I was a little bit ahead of you when we first partnered up, and then you've exploded. You're way past me now. You're going to be at 300 soon, and I was like, am I doing something wrong?
But
it was like, no, there was not to bring Black Mirror in, but I don't know how many of you guys watch Black Mirror, but there was that episode where it was all about you're monetizing by likes and things, and you like this coffee shop or you like this person's dress, and then their like points go up, and you can't get on the airline if your points aren't high enough, and all these things are interconnected with this idea of caring extensively about how people like you.
Yeah.
It looked like it froze up there a little bit.
I agree. It's like I can't, like, watching my sub numbers is something I need to stop because it's not
I think it's still frozen there. I don't know what's going on. Oh, no, I guess we're okay. Sorry.
It's working for me. So yeah.
I mean, I don't want to like take over. It was just an interesting
yeah, I thought we had a really interesting chat earlier.
And then Bueller's comment was so spot on as far as having knowledge and information makes your site, it draws people in when they're gaining knowledge from your site. And it made me think, like, is my site, I'm not really an information site. Like, my channel's not really about information. It's more about fun and entertainment,
we talked about
not a bad thing.
We talked about your
it's just different.
Your Saturday morning comics, and I asked you, that's something you do with your daughters, and that's important to you. If people watch, that's a bonus, but is it the point? The point is to spend time and do something with your kids. I would think, right? So
yeah, I mean, inverse, like we were saying that like the new comic book day book clubs that you and I do are easily the highest watched things on my channel. And they double whatever the Saturday morning comics things are. And if I was all about the analytics, then would I start saying, well, then I need to do more stuff like this and stop doing stuff like that? But yeah. I don't want to let that be the decision maker on my channel, right? You want the decision maker to be like, am I enjoying this? Unless you're wanting to make money. And I understand that. And I appreciate the hustle. Like, I love Comic Tom and I watch everything he does, but he wants to build this powerful business, and it's amazing. And I subscribe to the Mystery Mail Call, and I love getting my books, and I love the information I get from his channel. It's just not mine. Yeah, it's just not the one I want to have.
I think TJ just put it perfectly. I really don't care about subs; just want to make people happy with what I show.
Well, and same with Knights of Old says just have more nudity. Or F13 says I just need more nudity on my channel.
Big Will said Saturday morning comics is his favorite on your channel.
Thanks, Big Will. I appreciate that. And the point of going on here is not also to say like, hey, sub me up and give me more likes, because that's not the point either. It's more really to have a debate about how my channel is intentionally different from Reggie or what what Thanatos is offering, because I think this is all really interesting and valid ideas that can come along.
Yeah. DS said
I do need more Hughes cover.
DS said Adam Hughes boobies. Honestly, if you put Adam Hughes or thumbnail Adam Hughes boobies on a cover, yeah. And again, not to say anything bad about anybody, but we love comics. I'm sure everyone has seen his thumbnails. It's like always sexy babes.
Yeah, here's everybody can tune into my channel now. It's always going to be this. I'll just have Supergirl on here, and then everybody can watch and enjoy Supergirl.
I'm going to invite JD because he's been patient.
Sure, you want me to? I'll take off if you want.
You're welcome to hang out for a bit, but I just wanted to let you know if he pops in. But I wanted to see what he wanted to chat about as well.
Yeah, I think the fun of this idea is letting people have a chance to shift topics. And I didn't want to start heavy, like your first episode, your first
yeah, topic, but it's been on my mind too. And we said earlier when we were chatting that it was funny. Hey, JD, what's up, buddy? That it's funny that we kind of were both having these thoughts seemingly simultaneously, and then we were messaging each other. And I was like, yeah, I'm on break in half an hour. I got to give you a call because this is too much to text about.
JD, I'm looking forward to the comic hunt with you, man. I think I'm already done with all the books I need for the hunt. I think I'm fully ready, like 2 weeks in advance.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking at that hunt and I'm like, oh.
That's the hard thing. You guys have to just keep going out, and you're like the Native Americans having to hunt every day. You just got to keep doing it. Like I get to show up and just do it for 2 weeks and then bail.
Exactly. Yeah, was that correct?
TJ said I should do a video on Vampirella's legs and see if the theory holds true. And Donatos is saying CGC unboxings get all the videos, all the views. Yeah, the other thing
that was a topic too that I just, not to keep going on this, but Matt's totally right. Like as far as adding knowledge or information to the community, unboxing videos never do that. And they're incredibly successful. And so then it's like, I got to spend money to get viewers, right? I got to keep buying stuff to unbox things.
Or show hauls. Which,
yeah, exactly.
I enjoy showing hauls. I just showed off some books the other day, which were I don't think I have them up here anymore, but you know, I was really excited about it. And I just bought some books from your friend there, Joey. When I get those in, some stuff that I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, my friend Joey's Comics is getting out of the comic selling, you know, side of things, but he's got a lot of great books, including I think he still has this first appearance of Hal Jordan signed by Gil Kane. But you can check him out on Instagram. Joey's Comic. It's Joey's Comics, and his logo on Instagram is like a blue Batman face up close. And he's just getting into nursing school, and he's trying to get away from the grind. And he still works at my LCS, but he's got a lot of great books to sell. And he sold me a whole bunch. And it sounds like he sold you some too, Alec.
Yes, I got 6 books and something a little extra. Yeah, unboxing. Like if you just search unboxing, Thanos was saying like in every genre. If you just search unboxing on YouTube, it's like cookies and electronics and like anything you can imagine is just people opening boxes of. I have another channel that was just my like regular watching YouTube channel, and I posted 2 videos on it. One of which was play of the game from Overwatch, and the other one was a board game unboxing. Neither of which have very many views, but I posted them just to have fun before I started this channel. And yeah, I don't know. It's a thing. There's some psychology about being able to see someone else open something. Like you live vicariously, I guess.
Totally.
That's funny.
So what do you got on your mind tonight, JD?
Well, I'm having a hard time seeing you guys, and I apologize if the sound's there. Actually, I was pretty much what you guys were saying. It was what is everybody doing with their channels? And what I was doing was I was just kind of saying, here's my story on what I know about Thanos and what I knew about Venom and what I knew about Submariner. And that's how I actually first interacted with Reggie. And he was like, that was great content. You're making me want to buy more books. And then I don't really know what the course of my channel is, other than when you brought up thumbnails, I couldn't stop laughing because I sent you a text earlier. I just created a 90-second introduction to a video I'm doing on December 11th, and that took 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I have a job and everything else, and I've never cared that much about making it that cool. But it was just one of those things where I wanted to add something to this important, passion I have, which is the comics. And when I started watching, like you brought up Matt, Thanatos, our made up names, Matt, and I started watching more and more of these videos and going back to where I'm like, okay, I need time to watch at least an hour of YouTube a day, not including live streams when I'm like, all right, everything else is on hold. Got to go watch a live stream,
Yeah.
But one of the things is define what we all do. And I always look at you, Alec, as like the artist who went to art school, who knows what I'm talking about, who knows, like when I'm like, I need somebody to break down this guy, and you know how to do that. And while I might say, hey, I'm a big fan of Robert Fawcett, but maybe you know more about it than I do,
Yeah.
or something along those lines, or Bernie Wrightson or something. And then we have a conversation that way. And then I'm looking at John's Comics with Kids, and he's like, I'm looking at my life in about a couple of years from now where I get to share with them and they can do that. And I'm like, I keep telling my wife, I says, look, when his kids are just going to turn into teenagers, we get to take over the show.
Yeah.
We'll just,
JD's Comics with Kids.
My name's John's too. My name's John's too. And eventually John's going to do John's Comics with Kids. It's just going to be him.
John's Comics with Kids.
They don't want to talk
nothing to do with him.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll be like, well, I'm John's Comics with Kids, and I can always invite John on. Says,
oh my God.
Yeah, that's exactly what it. And I just started laughing.
True and scary.
Exactly what my wife wrote. She goes, well, his kids will hate him eventually, so they all do.
Totally.
Oh my God. So,
because I made them do years worth of videos on YouTube, they're gonna.
They're gonna come back.
Alone.
It's all coming back.
They're gonna be like, don't let my friends know that my childhood is all across YouTube now
and all about comic books.
Nice. So, also I wanted to say something about the live feeds from Reggie, how many he can do and do those other videos, his research has gotten me to do a lot more research. Where I don't know if you can see this, I'm researching 3 books right now to try to get him to send him to CGC and verify something. And this is the amount of paperwork I've gone through on it. So it's just,
and you brought up this idea of the interconnectivity of the community, which I thought was really true. And guys like Reggie, it's amazing how generous with his time. Like that I could send him an idea that was a horrible idea, and he's not going to say this idea sucks. He's not going to look me in the face and say these things. Instead, he's going to give me some creative criticism, and he's going to be there for me and then walk me through this idea and help me see what's good about it or bad about it. But that he's giving that time the same way Alec might give time when it's, you know, he's giving advice on an artist, or Bueller when he's giving on time, when he's talking to me about hunting or whatever, that people are this giving. It makes you feel so obligated too, to like, I want to see everybody's videos. When Simon Comics posts his new Golden Age video, I want to watch it for him. I want to be there for him.
Right.
And support him. But at the same time, you're like, kids, job, you know, things that pay, like all these other things, you know, how do you balance it all? It's amazing and difficult.
I want to mention a couple things in the chat. I want to say what's up to Tony for joining. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Just let you know we're doing this just jump in, jump out type of chat. So if you want anybody who's joined since the beginning, wants to pop in, I'll kick one of these guys out. We can.
Yeah, I'm definitely overstaying my welcome now.
No, not at all. But Fern said something I was amused by. He said we should do an unboxing of stuff just like Turok #1 and X-Force #1 and stuff that's all PGX and see how many views it gets, but with a thumbnail
I'm still working on an idea of like sharing books that we already own that are not popular, like that are not spending money, not showing grails and keys, but just really showing the almost like the embarrassing dirty laundry that's in your box. That's like, yeah, I own that crap comic. And not only that, I've got all the variants and a 5 of each.
And Baked Snake said, you all bring something special and unique. You guys should come together like the Wu-Tang Clan and make a super channel.
Wu-Tang, nothing. This is one of my guilty pleasures here. It was Midnight Tales from Charlton. I found this in a box one time, and I'm like, oh, I have to find the rest of these. You could find the rest of them in that same box if you want for $1.
Well, then maybe JD, you and I will have to do an episode of something where we're just not digging in the shorts like Reggie does, but certainly like showing off random, just absolutely bizarre stuff.
Good as Gold just said, talk Valiant, man. If you want to talk Valiant, send me your email. I'll let you jump in this chat because I will talk Valiant the rest of the night, brother.
All right, I'm gonna jump out of here. I'm gonna let you guys keep talking. I will keep watching. I'm gonna be in the chat the whole time. But thanks for having me on out.
No problem. If you want to jump back in, let me know.
Okay. Bye, JD.
Take care, John. I absolutely loved Valiant.
Can we do
strong?
Donato said, "Can we do a weekly live show all Valiant all the time?" Man, yes, please.
I could show some Chromium Bloodshot. I've got them all. I've got about 20 covers of that one Chromium Bloodshot one.
Yeah. I've got a weird Shadow Man Zero printing error.
That's nice. Yeah, I've got some weird books.
Probably worth anything, but it's just cool. It's like offset.
Yeah, it's funny because one of the things I keep hearing, like Reggie was doing such a good job today when he was live, and he, I was on it. Then he called me out, and we were talking about the dead rabbit situation.
Yeah,
right?
Which is crazy.
Yeah, so I immediately let me switch the feel on the mic. So
I'm going to grab my Valiant box. Everyone's asking us to show Turok.
Are we showing Turoks? Okay. Well, anyway, I personally did not really think that Dead Rabbits was. I just put it out there on eBay for $100, and I said if somebody buys it, they do. They don't. Then I get a cha-ching notice on my phone, and I wasn't even paying attention. I'm like, all right, now what am I going to do? Flipped it right away into this Journey mystery over there. If I have to get up and grab Valiant books, it's going to be a long night.
All right.
I'll let Alec take care of that.
Sorry for abandoning you.
No worries.
Or you want to see some Turok?
Who doesn't? Let me see if I can see the chat.
Well, bam.
Nice.
Love it.
Look at that. I love the gloss.
Yeah.
Love the foil.
Here's a good one to show. Really immersive. And
Oh yeah, I have one. I have a walk in hell that looks like that. Yeah.
Solar 10. What else people want to see?
Some blood shots, blood sports.
Super Mario Brothers, Valiant.
Oh, that's rare. That's
Yeah.
the flying squirrel one. That's from like the Super Nintendo, right? That's 93, right?
Yeah, I think this was the first Valiant book ever published. But
Really?
I could be wrong. Someone can correct me on that.
Yeah, I have some Harbinger too.
That's actually a key. You talking about this one? Gene
Yeah.
Paul? Yeah, why do you think it's in my light?
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, I've got a couple of my key. I got both of my Rye Zeros out at CGC right now.
Yeah, I have one of them over here. Rye Zero. I don't know what. Do you have? Is there a gloss one? I don't. I was never.
I've never. Both of mine look the same. I don't know. I've never seen. I guess them side by side, so I don't know what's what. If anybody has any can describe them better than that.
You run the Valiant. I'm grabbing some Valiant right now.
Here's the Shadow Man error. I don't know if you can see on the here. It's like smudged. Has anyone seen that before? I got issues. Own 0 Valiant books. Psh, man. When I was, yeah. Can you all explain Rye Zero gloss? When I was growing up in the 90s, Valiant was my life, like everything. Every book I bought. I mean, I bought a lot of Image too, but Magnus was the first published Valiant. You sure? I mean, I believe you, but I thought they started with Super Mario. But got that too. So if that's the case, 90s covers are the best. Yeah, I love these covers. Barry Windsor Smith, guy's a legend. The XO1 cover, so good. He didn't do that, but I love this cover. It's like so Valiant.
All right. All right, I'm back.
Hey, what's up?
Sorry about I had to go.
That's all right.
Grab some Valiants here.
I've got this rare trade too, which is really cool. I don't know if everyone's seen this. Alpha and Omega hardcover slipcase.
I don't know how many of these anybody has. 1, 2. There's this. Thanks for buying again. Here's some Shadow. I don't know if you could see this one. This is one of my favorites of the run.
That's the first appearance of somebody.
Yeah, I don't know which one. I wrote it down as saying, "Oh, I'm keeping this one around." Love some Valiant.
XO is a good read. Yeah, XO is a good read.
It is, man.
A lot of all this pre-Valiant stuff is really good.
Oh, this is when you get the Harbinger.
The Dark Knight.
Yep. There's a Bloodshot 0 and some shiny season. Let's have some shine on this one.
Oh yeah. Love the chromium.
Yep. Yep. Valiant's always. That's a
hot key book.
Can't find my Archer and yeah, that's what I'm looking for. My Eternal Warriors and Archer and Armstrong. I think I put him in the Keep an Eye on book.
I know I've shown these before on my channel, but I think they're cool anyway. Modern Valiant stuff, Legends of the Geomancer.
Oh yeah.
These were strange. I don't know if everyone knows about these. I shouldn't expect this to become a Valiant discussion. Not mad about it. Well, someone mentioned in the chat, and I'm like a fish to a worm with some Valiant. These were incentive books, so like variant covers, except they were actually a separate story, which is super weird.
Yeah. I don't know how my eternal worries are, but I was reading Valiant when it came out, but
Watching
I like
my Valiant 3D glasses on, Valiant Vision.
Valiant Vision. Greater Mercury comics.
No, I don't know Greater Mercury.
I'm not familiar with that. Knights of Old. You know, Image is funny because I was such a big fan of Image with Thief of Thieves. And some of their new stuff now I like, the Gideon Falls, Shanghai Red's over with, and Oblivion Song, and all the Skybound stuff, the Robert Kirkman stuff, I should say. But a lot of the newer Image stuff I'm just finding to be, are we rushing to put stuff out without any thought about an issue 2, 3, or 4? I don't know. I texted or I tweeted and private message a few of the writers and been like, it's been like 5 months since your last issue. What's going on? I understand it's Image and that's notorious for that. But, you know, I'm like, what's the deal? And you're just saying, oh, we're working on it. But that's one of the things about Robert Kirkman that I don't think people give him enough credit for is he doesn't write or put out a book until he's got the first 30 issues ready to go, which is great for him as opposed to some of these other ones where I'm just
like don't know where they're going.
Yeah, exactly.
We got Bueller in the chat.
Nice.
If you want to join in, this is just like a free for all. If you want to join in or anybody else, again, just shoot me an email, whitewhalecomics@gmail.com. I'll invite you in.
So, Alec, I want to give you a shout out for throwing up some Scalped for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's my wife's idea.
Yeah, I wanted to, I have got every issue of that, and I kind of keep them bound like this here, but I just can't. I just absolutely love the way Scalped was done because I compare Vertigo to Valiant in a way that old Vertigo came on gangbusters, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Image to me was in the beginning, it was my way to read Spawn. And Valiant was pretty much Bloodshot and everything that was going on with them. And Archer and Armstrong, I like that too.
Yeah. I'd say like
Eternal Warrior, yeah.
Sandman through Y the Last Man, that era of Vertigo is, I think, still like the best, like mainstream comics that exist.
Exactly. I completely agree with you on that. I always say that if the writing back then, and sometimes a lot of the art was hit or miss on a lot of that books, but during that time, with Vertigo was Scalped and everything else, it was just ridiculously writing. It was like the best writers were there. I would say, what if Alan Moore's Swamp Thing numbers 21 through 57 were redone with 5 different writers, and we had it at that point at Vertigo with Gaiman and Jason Aaron doing Vertigo. So I don't know if anybody, I was talking the other day. One of the weird Marvel. Do you remember when Marvel did their Icon?
Yeah, they had like powers on it and stuff.
The only one I liked was Men of Wrath. And it was so disturbing. It was beyond disturbing. But it was Jason Aaron.
Yeah, I was going to say Preacher is one of my favorite books. Doesn't get much more disturbing than that.
That's true. I have some Preacher in here. Outcast was pretty, Well, Garth Ennis is Garth Ennis. Oh, look, found another one.
Charlton or Dell. No, I unfortunately don't have any of the older stuff.
One of the oldest. This is what I was going to show up when we talk about our guilty pleasures. Howard Chaykin's Cody Starbuck. That's a strange book. That's a little bizarre. Howard Chaykin's a little bizarre himself. So
Brian K. Vaughan needs more love. You don't think he gets enough respect?
Saga?
Good as Gold. Only like one of the biggest books out there.
Yeah.
Or do you mean just in this chat? you're able to bring back one comic writer artist for one final run, I think you need to jump into the chat for that one, Thanatos, if you
you
want.
need to get on here because if I want to hear you say something like Neil Kane or someone, or who was doing the Neil to do one run. Wow, a writer. What about two people that never wrote together? Or wrote and drew together?
I'm at work. Sorry. All right. I'll answer your question then. Able to bring back one writer artist for one final run. So I guess it has to be something that doesn't have a definitive ending, right? That's a tough one. I really have to think about that. I'll get back to you.
Let's think. I'd like to see, where would have Swamp Thing have gone if Alan Moore didn't take it over? But I was much better at it when Alan did take it over. It was beyond that. But back to Brian K. Vaughan. There's been a rumor that Brian K. Vaughan was going to write part of the new Defenders line for Marvel. And I don't know if and I'm pretty sure it's been set that Jerry Dugan, who was involved with Dead Rabbits, is still going to be involved in it. And Al Ewing is going to be doing the part of the Defenders, but Brian K. Vaughan was going to be doing the Silver Surfer part. And if any of the Marvel characters that Brian K. Vaughan I would trust him to do, I'd let him do Norrin Rad. Now, I like Saga. I read all of it, but I do think that what people have been saying about recent Saga is okay. I mean, I'm not reading it actively as much anymore, but
yeah, it really dropped off for me. I stopped. I took it off of my pull.
That's what I was wondering if he's gone ghostwriter on this stuff, which does happen.
Yeah, but I did the same thing with Paper Girls. Like that started off real strong for me, and
I did it with The Walking Dead real early.
Oh yeah, I haven't read Walking Dead in a while.
Yeah, I haven't read Walking Dead since. I mean, when the Governor came in that whole series, that was great, and I was, by the time Negan got there, I was like, all right, I've had it.
Yeah, I think I stopped reading even before that.
Bring back John Romita Sr. and Roy Thomas writing for Spider-Man team.
TJ Watson says
that's good, Hugh.
Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, Len Wein and Wrightson. You're not gonna. I don't think Alec and I will ever disagree on Bernie Wrightson at all.
Yeah, that duo, both of them are ultra talented. And
I would say Stanley and John Buscema. Just that whole Silver Surfer 1 through 18, which didn't sell well and wasn't the best, but what became of that was the later on stuff. But Lane Wynn, you're not going to go wrong with that.
And someone mentioned Kevin Smith finishing Daredevil to Target. It was Gene, which
I liked his Flash. I like
Kevin Smith didn't finish a lot of stuff. I don't know what the deal with that was.
Yeah,
Green Arrow.
Yeah, he started writing part of Flash with Phil Hester, and that didn't go anywhere. He came out here
to Raven.
So one of the other, I like when people bring up that what would you want to see finished? What didn't have a good ending, or what should have been something a little differently done for your own take. I mean, if I could, I'd write it, but I don't know.
I wish one of my favorite series of all time, Fables. I wish that was 50 issues shorter.
Oh yeah, let's cut down Thief of Thieves. I mean, the first 27 was great, and now because it had no supernatural and it was all it was, and now it's become completely different. Yeah. But again, Kirkman's kind of consistent, though. I will say that he always has that starts off with a bang, and it's great where you can't put it down, and then it falls off.
Hard Boiled could have had a better ending. John Complicated, totally agree. Thank you. Nice. I got my Fables Deluxe Edition, Volume 1 right here.
Good point about Frankenstein Alive. That was good.
Signed and personalized.
Nice.
By Bill Willingham, who was very confused when I showed him the tattoo I have. I have a very funny picture of him looking at it, just utterly perplexed.
Alec, were you into Cullen Bunn's first attempt at The Empty Man?
I've not read that.
This is the first series. The second series has just started. It's bizarre. It's good, but I've just heard that this is out there. This is one that I wish they would have redone the ending a little bit, but then they added a second series. So I think that's more or less because somebody said it's been picked up by one of the either networks or who knows what's going on. I mean, you hear all these things have been optioned. I mean, doesn't mean they're all going to get done.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's saying Crosswind, Gail Simone's Crosswind is going to be optioned, and I'm saying, okay. I didn't like it the first time.
Fables was so good for so long, I give it a bit of a pass. Yeah, I mean, I still don't take anything away from it because it's still absolutely tremendous, but it stretched out a little bit for me. Anyone read this?
No.
If you haven't, what it was a series of individual issues that DC put out that were completely, each issue was done by a different creator. So there's a Mike Allred one. There is Tim Sale, Richard Corbin, Paul Pope, Howard Chaykin, Darwin Cook.
Howard Chaykin.
The list goes on, and they just like basically gave them carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. And I think publishers need to do more stuff like this where they just let creators do what they want, because I think there's a lot of talent and a lot of creativity that goes untapped because they are kind of handcuffed by whatever the continuity is, or whatever. But this is definitely worth checking out.
One conversation I had with Jason Aaron at Kansas City when nobody was around because it was really early, and I was helping this other guy set up a booth, so I was talking to him, and 14 years ago nobody heard of him, and then he became Marvel's golden boy like Donny Cates is now. They gave him Thanos Rising, and he told him he was going to redo it, and it sold really well. And this is at a time prior to Avengers movie coming out, and he was doing a lot of the Wolverine and the Hulk series that were very dark. When he did Thanos Rising, a small little 6-series set, it ended where they said, okay, congratulations, here's God of Thunder. And they gave him God of Thunder, and that was received so well. Whether you're like it or not, it was received very well, and it led into so many other projects for it, or so many things that came from that. Aaron said that one time, he goes, the handcuffs come off at Marvel when Marvel doesn't worry about their character anymore. When they think you can do it. But if they don't want, but he said, he goes, if I was given Spider-Man, I would never be able to do anything. He goes, Spider-Man, your X-Men, or anything like that. But it was a character, Thanos, prior to Avengers movie. I mean, I remember paying not much money for any of Thanos books when I was collecting them in the 80s, and people didn't care who he was. I mean, some of them, I'm sure some people in the chat knew who Thanos was prior to Avengers cameo at the end of it, but it was just there, and he said flat out, he brought that up. He goes, I auditioned to do Wolverine, and they says, well, we'll never use that storyline. You can write a few. And he wrote that whole Mystique versus Wolverine thing going on.
Yeah.
So
if this is the Batman, it's not actually a Batman book. It has certainly a lot of Batman in it, but it's called Solo, which I think someone mentioned in the chat. But I'm pretty sure you can get this deluxe edition fairly cheap. And it's, I think, like about 13, 14 different creators.
Thanatos, I will say this. He brought up Bone Parish by Cullen Bunn.
Yeah.
That is an absolute... That's a good thing. Cullen is best when Cullen doesn't have to do anything other than be Cullen.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of
creepy
creators...
horror crime. Creepy horror crime. He's really good at that.
You compare anyone's creator-owned stuff versus their big two stuff, and 9 times out of 10, maybe even more than that, their creator-owned stuff is going to be just better because it's what they want to do, it's what they're passionate about, and they don't have to cater to anything. And I think this kind of goes back to the conversation we started with John, where it's like who are you doing this for? Are you doing it for your audience, or are you doing it for yourself?
Right.
So it
Yeah.
comes full circle.
I mean, I consider you an educator. You educate me flat out on art. I mean, I can draw, but I've never taken an art course.
Yeah.
I mean, I could draw.
I wasted a lot of money taking art courses.
Well, no. At the same point in time, I kind of wish I did, because, I grew up, going to museums in New York all the time and going to see some of these iconic non-comic book artists, as my mom would call it. And, I was into the Van Gogh and into Robert Fawcett and stuff. And then
Later, Gene.
And I was just into that. But when I first watched that first ones you did, and the Dane Cook, the
Darwin Cook.
Yeah, the Darwin Cook one. I was
Mike Mignola.
Of course, Mike Mignola, the Hellboy. Was just everything. I was like, okay, so that's where that comes from. And that's why I kind of asked you to do one for my favorite artist, who's just, and I think it's just an important thing that I'm like, it would just be, that's where you're an educator on there. And I find that I would dare say, I think I'm more of a check out these cool covers and everything else. And I'll tell you a little bit about each of the books, but I'm never going to delve into deep much of anything. But what are we doing it for? I think I look at everybody else's content, and everybody's getting their niche of what they're doing. Reggie's got a lot of things that he's so perfect at, like the trivia show. His charisma comes out on, when he's doing it. Yeah, and the war with Thanatos, you get both their personalities. And Bueller, I mean, I have to watch his 3 shows more than anything else. I have to do comics with coffee. I have to have coffee with him. I have to have a beer with him, and I have to tell me what books are coming out next.
What's up, Comic Corp?
Comic Corp, these guys, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your kind words. I do need to fall back on stuff like that, because I don't have the charisma that someone like a Reggie or a Thanatos has. So I have to make up for it somehow to balance the scales.
I just make jokes all the time, and or wear masks.
We each. I think, like you were saying, it's just you have to be yourself, because if you're trying to be, someone else or do something that someone else is doing, it's just not gonna be successful at it.
Wow, John's Comics with Kids gets off the chat and throws in the wrench. Favorite artist character combo. Who drew someone best to you? Well, go ahead. I mean, if anybody doesn't know, it's Thor and Silver Surfer, John Buscema, end of story. For me.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure, because I think I might have some weird choices.
T.J. Watson has a good one. Adams Batman.
Yeah, he also said Kane Green Lantern.
I do like Gil Kane, or I mean, I have
Romita Spider-Man. There are a lot of artists that like Spider-Man is just like, man, you crushed it.
Buscema, Conan. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's pretty great. I mean, Wrights and Swamp Thing.
Wrights and Frankenstein. Brought out the white gloves because I was playing with some Golden Age stuff. So
yeah, you gotta bust out the white gloves.
Yeah, I wish I could put them on my kids. Adam's Green Lantern, Thanatos. Really, I love that. Miller's Daredevil.
Adam Hughes boobs.
Adam Hughes boobs. That's a good one. Yeah. A lot of Neil Adams.
Kirby Fantastic Four.
Kirby Fantastic Four. It's a good one. Somebody said Alex Ross. Everyone. Big Will. I like that. Eric Larson, Spider-Man. John's Comic with Kids. That's a huge one, because I absolutely loved Eric Larson.
Yeah, that's a.
I mean, Savage Dragon. What are we gonna do? Jim Starlin, Captain Tony. I was waiting for the Jim Starlin. I love Starlin's Captain Marvel, his Warlock.
Fake the Snake. Thanks for the modern reference, Mr. Miracle, Mitch Gerard's. Yeah, man, that book. Yeah. I really wanted to do a video about that after I read issue 12, but I just did the Vision video with my wife, and I didn't want to do back-to-back Tom King videos. So I might still do one, but it's going to be down the road, because that if anyone hasn't read that Mr. Miracle series, man, it is something special.
I'll have to check that. Mandrake Spectre, that's a good one too. I'm surprised TJ Watson hasn't said Gene Colan Daredevil, unless somebody chose Miller Daredevil. Either one. Neil Adams Dead Man, yeah. Sandoval, yeah.
Perez, New Teen Titans. What's up, Roman Curtis?
I like that one, Roman. George Perez. That's a good one. I mean, some of them are just go hand in hand together. I was real excited, Kirby Thor or fantastic. I love this cover. I'm just throwing it out there as my favorite cover of that whole bunch. So Kirby Demon. Gray Man, you like Demon. I love Demon.
I thought I know this is not necessarily a lot of people are kind of down on it, but the most recent Mark Waid, Chris Samney Captain America run, Samney can draw anything and I will be happy. That guy, if you're not familiar with his work, I think he is one of the best artists working right now.
I did like part of that Captain America run. It was post Ed Brubaker, so I always say Ed Brubaker kind of made the Cap the new Cap. Ed Brubaker's Captain America to me was just, the way the Winter Soldier was brought out and everything. But Samney, yeah, actually.
Yeah, Sleepy Reader 666. Love Sammy, thank you. There's a Frank Miller Sketches of 10 on eBay and it terrifies me. Yeah, there's an auction up for a piece of OA right now that might break my bank. I think I mentioned it, but
yeah, I'm hoping a Christmas bonus comes early because there's a piece out there I've been staring at. It's on
Frank
one of the auction sites.
Sure. He turned him around without a doubt. And Batman to a point, like he he created that new dark persona that
RB3, we were just talking about that. I'm looking at a few OA auctions out there right now for a few pieces.
Yeah, RB3. There's one at
there's one I'm staring at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind telling anybody if you bid against me. That's just rude. But it's the.
I love Alec.
What's this? Let me pull it up. See if you can see it on my phone. Because if anybody doesn't already know how much I like Terry Moore.
Ooh.
It's
That's cool.
It's a swipe of Stranger in Paradise 1 from a calendar that he put out. And I want to put it on my wall next to my original page. It's the most underrated book, one that you can show us. Conveniently. Well, bam.
Nice.
I don't know. Underrated is really hard because, I feel like, is it underappreciated or is it that people think that it's not great, but it is? What's your definition of underrated? Here, I got one. I got an underrated book. Gotham Central. Generation X #1. Yeah, baby. Always on hand. Turok is scarce. Yeah, because people use it for cutting boards, apparently.
I'm going to show a piece of original art that I'm looking at right here. You can see how bright is that. There you go.
Yeah.
That is from Strange Tales 150. That is Dum Dum Dugan and some old school Nick Fury right there. It's also Buscema's first work on the title since number 22. So that's 150 since 1959. I don't think it's going to come close to me. I have a limit, and that's already close to it.
Yeah.
But there's a few other pieces out there I've been talking to people about. That guy who gave me that one big one. So
the Gray Man says he's got this Gotham Central run. Yeah, it's so good. If anyone has not read this and they like street level stuff, if you like Criminal or like some of the Daredevil stuff, Hawkeye. It's not really comical like Hawkeye, but it's still like that gritty. I don't know. X-Force 1 is underrated. X-Force 1 is underrated, TJ. So yeah, really, really easy to find these if you want to. It's only 40 issues, so if you want to buy the individual ones, it's really easy to find too. So good. I'm also, it's so big I can't take it down, but I have my entire Strange into Paradise omnibus, and I'm thinking about doing a full reread through and doing videos on that, which I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in, but again, it's kind of like what I want to do, and I'm going to have fun with it. So hopefully someone else will find it interesting.
that's good.
I'll get a couple of OA from Valiant. That's awesome, TJ.
That's nice. I have that OA dealer out of Ohio who I've talked to, and he's got some big stuff in some auctions, but he gets so much stuff from estates and from people that he's been helping me out a lot trying to find stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Donato says if anyone likes Rafa Sandoval, you can just ask him on Messenger what pages he's got, and the prices are super reasonable for commissions.
Sandoval's
awesome.
Pretty amazing too. I saw that when he got that Green Lantern. That was just congrats, Matt. I mean, really congrats on that one. So, underrated is one of those things that people bring up a lot. I was showing there was a run of books that I really liked.
Here's a weird one for you.
I don't want to go weird yet.
No, I don't think you're gonna get weird in this.
Oh, I have one. I think I have that.
The binder?
No, not the binder. I just have the. I think it's over here too. I don't know what it is. It's Black Knight.
Does anyone remember this one? Warriors of Plasm?
Oh no, I have Sludge from Barry Windsor Smith over
Oh
here.
yeah, Ultra Reverse.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, this is a weird one. David Lapham, after he left, and I think Jim Shooter, after they left Valiant, they formed another company and they put this out, and it was this binder. This is the second edition, but they have there was like a first edition that was really collectible when it first came out, and there were collectible cards that you needed to buy. It was a real sucker's game because it formed the full comic after you collected the whole set.
Jeez. Oh wow. Do you have one of? Have you ever read Fifi?
No.
Capra, Michael. Yeah, this is pretty well known. There's a guy out of Brooklyn put this out. This is gaining some momentum. McFarlane Spawn Wingnut. Yeah. If anybody defined a character, when I hear Todd McFarlane created Spawn when he was 12, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I created a bunch of girls with boobs when I was
12.
That was create anything cool.
Yeah, I had no idea that would definitely create Al.
That's not true. I drew a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons warriors and berserkers and stuff like that.
I drew X-Wings and TIE fighters.
Frank Miller can be overrated. It's an awkward style, as Matt has mentioned. Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's not for everybody, but
right.
Like his Sin City stuff, I think is problematic content-wise, but the art is really, really dramatic and cool.
It depends on what kind of art you. I mean, because Frank Miller's Daredevil was great. I mean, Man Without Fear, the whole storyline and everything else, but not everything Frank Miller did was gold.
No, I think like his newer Dark Knight 3 stuff like has become so exaggerated in his style that it's just like kind of a caricature of itself. It's weird.
Yeah. I like how that DS puts it. It's choppy and dark and silhouette-ish.
Yeah, but you know, it's noir, so it kind of works.
Yeah.
The Plasma was the first edition was limited, really limited. That's the second printing, which was printed much more. Some discussion about Liefeld in the chat too.
We're not going to get into that.
Yeah, I'll probably do a Frank Miller artist review DS for sure.
Did anybody get that X-Men with Liefeld on the cover where the Beast has two left feet, two right feet? Yeah. Was that done on purpose? Does anybody know?
Is it like an in joke? Like, oh, I don't know how to draw feet, so I'm going to draw two of the same foot?
I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke or someone, or he just that way.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know. A book that everybody likes that I'm trying to understand why, and I'm a fan of all these characters, was I didn't really like this that much.
Yeah, I didn't pick it up, but it was pretty hyped up.
Yeah. I was expecting a lot more. Dave Bear says, I don't think it was a joke. That's funny. Yeah. If you have a look at it, Beast is, looks like this on his
yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. Somebody it's terrible.
Well, I've been going on for over an hour. I should probably start wrapping it up.
Yeah. Magnolia
Hellboy. Yeah, it's the first artist video I did. He's top of the class for me for sure. Comic
Thanatos, it was cursed. A lot of people have been into this. I just wasn't not that big of a fan of it. Yeah. And it had Zatanna in it. I mean, the art was good. It was just more or less. Maybe I didn't get it.
Yeah, this is the only thing I have signed by Mignola. Right there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, he is so good. He is like I said, he's like top 3 all time probably for me.
I think we have the same. We have Wrightson is the same for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
Yeah. Wrightson and then Buscema for me, and then Starlin's probably my third.
Yeah, I'd have to really think about it to see like who is actually number 3 for me, but
I mean, I like the cover artists like Marko Jerkovic. I like him a lot, even more than I like Gabriel Delato. So,
and I thought I made a really great Jerkovic joke the other night in your chat. Thought it was fun. Oh, great! No, I didn't see anyone respond to it.
I was like, it's Jerkovic, and he said, "No, would you say nice guy?"
I said, I've heard he's actually pretty nice of it.
Yeah, pretty nice of it. Yeah, instead of a jerk. Yeah, but it was
a dumb joke, but
I liked it.
I thought someone.
I like Marko Jerkovic.
Yeah.
But
John's Comics with Kids, you're in luck.
With Buscema, yeah. Well, I'll be doing. I have a show coming where it's going to be around December. Buscema. You'll get a lot of info about him then, for sure. I've been sharing a lot of stuff with Alec, so.
All Favorite newer artist.
Cover or interior? That's the fun stuff. I'm gonna say honestly, I'm a big fan of Ryan Stegman. And
He's pretty good.
And Paulo Rivera is very underrated. Paulo Rivera reminds me of when I watched him on his Instagram and on his YouTube, his drawing technique. I was very impressed with that.
I went to college with him.
Yeah, and I told you I was like, wow.
Yeah, and he was like, even back then, you could like, there was no doubt that he.
Yeah, I tweeted him one time that he reminds me of like a modern day Wrightson with the amount of penciling he does, and he flat out said, "What a compliment that is! Thank you so much. My dad would be proud." And he got a chance to work with Bernie on something when he was in college. So.
There's a lot of yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Joelle Jones or Jolie Jones?
Jolie Jones. She is one of my
favorites. She's tremendous.
Even if it was Hex Wives.
But like,
I'm serious. I love that Hex Wives cover. I know everybody likes the Jenny Friesen, but yeah. I like the Jolie Jones.
Same thing with her Catwoman covers. You know, Art Germ's been getting all this attention for doing the Catwoman covers. Her covers are, I think,
just as good.
Just as good. Stand right next to her.
Yep.
Jenny Friesen, Becky Cloonan. There's like a lot of great female artists right now. Fiona Staples, obviously. That I'm really glad to see that are getting more attention because, you know, it's a boys' club for sure. Comics.
It is. I think the glass ceiling when Jody Houser started writing Star Wars and was then, after Aaron handed off to her the character of Thrawn, whether you're a Star Wars fan or not, that was 6-issue set was just one of those that brought in every character, and she when I saw the writing of her, I'm like, wow, she's good, and that's when she was hired by a female editor at Marvel to do that, and I thought it was great.
TJ Watson just said Mike Plug, which I 100% agree with.
Plug's a huge call, good call.
Yeah. And if we're doing in 2 weeks on book club, we're doing a new image book called Die, which is by Stephanie Hans, her first interior series, I think. So excited about that. Get some female representation.
Roman Curtis, you're in luck. There you go. I am a fan of the Grey Gargoyle as well. Huge fan of the Grey Gargoyle. So there you go. Yeah, it was kind of like a Midas Medusa kind of thing going
Booster
on.
Grey.
Great Booster Gray, Gray Canary, Gray Beetle, Gray Gargoyle.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't get more people in on the chat, but thanks JD and thanks John for taking the bullet and coming in blind and just chatting with me.
Always fun.
It was really fun. This is much more successful than I expected it to be. So thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you guys.
Sticking around for
sub each other up down there.
Sometime for the whole time. It was great.
Have a great one.
Hope everyone has a great night. Talk to y'all soon. Come back Wednesday for a new comic book club, new comic book day book club. We're having Bueller on, and we're doing Dead Man Logan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
All right. Bye.